Hello and welcome to another episode of CyberSafe News and Views. My name is Lee and I'll be your guide. In today's episode, top 10 cybersecurity misconceptions, you might even say myths, uh, things that you think are right that are actually wrong. Let's talk about them. And the news. In the news this week, just to give you a little teaser, Microsoft warns 240 million Windows users to stop using their OS. We'll talk about that in more detail. And in the near future, Microsoft's going to force you to have a Microsoft ID. That it's going to be an email, could be through, well, let's talk about it. Oracle was confirmed breached on two sides. And have you noticed audio problems in your Windows 11 computers recently? I have, and there's a cause. Let's get started.
Technology is an integral part of our lives. We use it every day, and it extends our access to information through things we can't even see. With technology surrounding us and growing at such a fast rate, knowledge of how to use this resource and stay safe in the meantime is imperative. Welcome to CyberSafe News and Views, where we answer questions and share information to keep you in the know and cyber safe.
Top 10 cybersecurity misconceptions. Now, I know most top 10 lists go from 10 to 1, but these are in no particular order. So we're just going to start out. Let me know in the comments how many I got you on. So the first thing is antivirus is enough to protect me, right? Wrong. Antivirus is just the first line of defense. It's not enough in today's modern era to keep you secure. If you deal with a lot of email, you might need some email filtering. You definitely need EDR, endpoint detection and response. You might need a managed firewall, and you definitely need user education. Now, if it's just you in your small business or practice, then you can take that education easy peasy. But if it's you and you need to make sure that your folks are educated enough to not click on the fish, to not do the crazy thing that the pop-up or email or what have you wants you to do. Antivirus is just not enough. It does not stop malware, among other things. So that's number one. Number two, I'm too small to be a target. It's just me. My data's not valuable. Insert your phrase here. If you have another comment, leave it down below about this one. But I'm too small. You're not. That is absolutely incorrect. They don't care if they have grandma. And I talk about this a lot if you ever listen to me on any of my podcasts, YouTube videos, Facebook, what have you. You're not too small. They don't care who they have, and they're not actively, it's not a person going in the background and saying, I can get this person. For the large companies, for the Department of Defense, for those who have lots of money, data to be exposed, lots of different things, sure, there might be active hacking. For the majority of anyone that would be listening to this podcast, whether you're a small practice or a small business, you're not actively being hacked. You are being just probed and receiving threats from automated programs, bots, just to try to get you to click on something. Just because you have an email, they've seen your traffic going across the wire. They see that you're going to this program. Well, they say, hey, you need to update your driver. Saw that one recently. Oh, you need to update your driver to upload your program to this website. Oh, click yes, done. Whole company hacked. So you are not too small of a target, even if it is just grandma and they just get her pictures. They don't care. They're just trying to cause havoc, trying to make you want the data back. And if grandma doesn't have another backup of that, of pictures of the grandbabies, is she willing to pay? If she's capable, maybe, but ransoms are not typically cheap. So you are not too small. You're often, because you're small, you're extra vulnerable. Number 3, if I don't click on bad links, I'm safe. Wrong. There was a time when that could possibly have been true. That ship has sailed. It is no longer remotely close to that being the case. It's a great start, but it's not enough. Malware can come from legitimate looking downloads, infected USBs, vulnerabilities in the OS or browser just because they're out of date. So it isn't necessarily just what you do. It's what you do and the status of all your devices behind it. So, stay updated, scan USBs, train your employees. There's the training thing again. Train your employees. And you need to be ready to spot more subtle attacks. The days of you getting an email from a prince in Africa and send them your bank account information, those ships have sailed. The days of getting an email that has bad grammar, it's likely more than not today to be from a real person if it has bad grammar, because humans program those. The malware, the ransomware, the links that they want you to click on today, the grammar is perfect, spot on. So you're going to, it's not going to be the case anymore. Pause for station identification. All right. Cybersecurity myth number 4, or misconception. Myth, misconception. There you go. My cloud provider handles all my security, whether that's my ISP. Hey, they gave me all these tools. They say they're keeping me safe, or whether I have a cloud provider for my business software. Hey, it's in the cloud. They have an obligation to keep that safe, right? Well, yes and no. Your cloud provider and you have shared responsibility. So they're going to make sure that your data is encrypted in transit if necessary. Well, it's always necessary. And they're going to be responsible for it in the cloud to make sure, hey, no one gets access to it. No one can download it. No one can steal it, wipe your data, etc. But you have obligations on your local device to make sure these things you don't lose them. And yes, you can lose them. You need to enable multi-factor authentication on your account, because one of the easiest ways, I heard about it this morning, I lost access to my email. My email got hacked. Well, we're using easy passwords for known email addresses, and it's just a matter of time before they hack grandma's email and you can't have access to it. Same thing can happen here. And if you have the ability to have multi-factor authentication, you need to actually implement it everywhere, bar none. Whether you do just, hey, I'm just advertising on social media, enable multi-factor. We've talked about that. I've got another podcast. We'll try and link it up in the window here. But make sure you have that turned on, because your data can be lost. And it's not just your cloud provider's responsibility. Number 5. We kind of just talked about this one a little bit, but I didn't mention this one because I knew it was coming. My password is strong enough. I don't need multi-factor. I've got a 14-digit password, uppercase, lowercase, number, special character, etc. I'm good. Wrong. Passwords are hacked all the time. Passwords are stolen. You may not actually know that, hey, my password that I used at Amazon, Azure, wherever you're using it, Microsoft, etc., my cloud provider software, they got their password stolen, and your difficult password, your strong password, is now out there in the wild, and they know who it belongs to. And so they're going to track down all the different sites. This stuff is monitorable. Don't mislead yourself thinking, well, they don't know what sites I access. A lot of this data is not if you're out there on the net, it's not encrypted by default. It's not hidden. So yes, they can go to where you go. They can use your passwords. They can figure out your email address or your username, and you can lose access to this. If you have multi-factor for your PCs, and if you're HIPAA compliance, that's coming. That's going to be a requirement later this year or early next. So stay tuned for more on that one. But multi-factor is going to be required to access your computer completely. So enable it. A strong password's a good start. Change it often, but you need multi-factor. There's accounts that I don't even know my password to. I don't need it because I use multi-factor, and I've got this thing. I had to look for it. I've got my phone over there that says, hey, are you trying to log in? Well, no, it's not me. No, blocked. Or yes, it's me. Authenticate. So a difficult password is just not enough. I've got a podcast on that one. If you check, we'll try and link that one up here too. Number 6. It's so difficult. 6, cybersecurity is IT's job, not mine. I hire somebody to do that. Wrong. Even when you do hire someone, and I run an IT company for this purpose, to keep people secure. But it clearly states, and if you review McAfee, Norton's service agreement, they clearly state they will not keep you safe from viruses. What? That's their job. How can they state that? Well, it's more of a guarantee. There is no guarantee out here. Your IT company can't guarantee anything. If you're clicking on bad links or you're clicking on emails that you shouldn't, whatever you're doing, or just, whoops, I made a mistake. I went to a site that I shouldn't have, and someone got in, or I'm using a bad password. You need to, everyone plays a role in this, and it's not just IT. An IT company with software deployed, managed firewalls, all the yada, yada, yadas, all good starts. But you have a role to play in your cybersecurity and keeping your data secure. Don't pawn it off to somebody else. It'll come back to bite you. Number 7. There we go. 7. We have backups. So we're safe from ransomware. And that's not a question. I've heard that. I've read that in reports. I've read it in surveys. I've got a backup. Who cares? Wrong. You don't think that would be I wouldn't think that people would actually think that way, but many do. I've got a backup. So what happens? I get a new server, I get some new PCs, and I'm back up and running. Or maybe we just reformat and we go on our way. Well, depending on the compliance that you have to adhere to, no, those devices become evidence. So backups are critical. They're important, but they're not foolproof. They're not a one-stop fix. Now, I like to deploy software that I believe my backups are, they're hack resistant. You're not going to get into them and be able to encrypt our backups. But I still deploy all my software. I still review the audit logs. I still try to educate my staff and our customers. So just saying you have backups so we're safe, that might help you recover, but that could be, depending on the size of your company, millions of dollars to recover from. So don't just trust in your backups. Have them and validate them. That was another one I ran into recently. We've got backups. They didn't, from years ago. So validate your backups, have them, but have other things in place as well. Number 8, there we go. Number 8, I run Macs. Macs don't get viruses. Wrong. This is like number 7. I wouldn't think people would think that. There was a time where Macs didn't get as many viruses. They weren't as susceptible. That is wrong. Macs are now being targeted for valid purposes online. Studies have shown that when you go to the same site with a Mac versus a PC, Macs will be shown a higher price for items. So if they can do that, you don't think that hackers are leveraging that to then get in and figure out things and try to get you hacked, get viruses for you? They definitely are. So you are no longer safe simply because you run a Mac. Now, does it happen less often? Yeah, to some degree, but you still are not immune. So keep your Mac up to date. Apple has been issuing critical updates recently. If your Mac is not currently up to date, get it up to date as soon as possible so that you can continue to live in this wrong thought world. Macs are still needing viruses, antivirus software. They still need EDR, endpoint detection and response software, as well as your entire cybersecurity wrap around everything you're doing. All right. Number 9, if I can't see the threat, it's not there. Wow. This one's old school. Whatever I don't see, I see no evil, fear no evil. Well, that is straight wrong. I can't tell you the number of computers we have inspected and found worms, found different just malware running on there, found viruses lurking, waiting to find additional data, waiting to find additional PCs, get those encrypted. The days of, if that was ever true, anything I can't see, it's not there. Those are long gone. You are definitely at risk. Hackers stay hidden for long periods of time. A lot of the hacks you're seeing come out, they're saying, hey, they were on our systems for 2, 3, 6 months. Honestly, the lucky ones are the ones where they come out right away. And the same day they get in, they encrypt your devices and then they move on. Those are the lucky ones. Those are the ones that may not have to report simply because of the amount of time, but they still lose their data. So not seeing a threat, it could be lurking. Be careful. And then number 10, I must not have held up number 9. I don't remember number 9. Number 10, cybersecurity is a one-time setup. Wow, this is wrong. It's an ongoing process. Yes, you have to install some software. You have to, but you also have to input different policies and procedures. Hey, what are we going to do to keep ourselves safe? What are we going to do to keep ourselves and our data safe from prying eyes, from being stolen, etc.? The threats are constantly evolving, and you have things to do constantly in your environment to validate that we're not currently hacked, that we're not currently being observed. Looking for failed logins, looking for exfiltration of data, looking at all this information so that you can say, yes, we're still safe. We haven't currently been encrypted or hacked. So it's an ongoing process every day, every week, every month. The hacks are happening constantly. A one-time setup, not even close. Your software will get old, it will get out of date or out of compliance, and then where are you? You might not have the newest software that's needed because of all the hacks going on. So number 10, wow, it's not a one-time setup. All right, so that's it for our top 10 list this week. If you had a comment or you have anything more that you want to see about this, I have a webinar coming up April 15th. That's a Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern, and you can ask your questions. Live webinar. Come on, ask your questions. You can register at cybersafenewsandviews.com. There's a link towards the bottom. Register for that, and we'll send you a confirmation. In the news, Windows 10 PCs. Windows warns their users to quit using their OS. Yeah, but this, you have to go back to where Microsoft is or has been on this. Microsoft's always had issues with getting users to upgrade. So there are some of you out there still using Windows 7. Blows my mind. Windows 10 is about to be out the door October 14th. I've got a podcast on that if you're interested. We'll link that one up here as well. But Microsoft's trying to play hardball, trying to scare their customers so that they will actually do something with this. It's estimated the 240 million, that's the estimate of how many Windows 10 PCs there are out there. So these are all not upgradable and need to go away because they're no longer going to get security patches. Now, this does not apply to necessarily Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Enterprise. Windows 10 Enterprise by default will continue to get security updates. Microsoft's got a end of life policy on that, goes out through, I believe it's 2030. But Windows 10 Home, you will be able to opt in for, hey, I'd like to pay a little something to continue to get cybersecurity updates, security updates on my Windows 10 device. The problem is it's going to be something on the order of about, I think it's $42, and every year it's going to double. So 42, 84, and then I'm not sure if that's 84 doubles or if just another 42. But anyone want to pay $42 to continue to use Windows 10? No, that's what you're going to have to do. So if that's the easier way for you and you're not running your business on it, hey, I'm just browsing the internet, pay the $42 or get a new PC. All right. In other news, Microsoft is just knocking it out of the park. They're making the news in all the wrong ways. Microsoft is going to require you to have a Microsoft account to set up Windows 11 in the near future. Now, currently there is an opt-out of this, but what I've been reading is come later this year, that opt-out is going away. They're going to cut it out, cut the script out, and no longer allow you to set up a local or not internet connected device. It must be internet connected. It must be a Microsoft account. Now, what do I mean by Microsoft account? An Outlook.com account. Hey, it's Lee Frazier at Outlook.com, or it's, it could be a Microsoft Azure domain, something you're going authenticating through Microsoft, but it has to be something that authenticates through Microsoft, whether free or a paid service. This one, I can't believe they're going to stick to this, but on some cases, they've done this with all their other products. I'm not sure why they wouldn't for this one as well. So if you ever sign up for a Microsoft 365 subscription, unless you're internet connected and you log in, they're not going to let you have access to it. Now, you don't have to have a Microsoft account to authenticate, but it's not much different. So not out yet. Change expected later this year. Stay tuned. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you updated, and hopefully before, so that you can get that account before it's necessary. So in breach news, Oracle has confirmed, Oracle continues to deny that their cloud platform has been breached, but the data has been found. It has been confirmed that the data is found. Their cloud platform has been breached, and Oracle yet still continues to deny it. They had admitted that their classic software had been hacked, but then the hackers promptly posted files that were from 2024. So which would be their newest cloud software. So if this affects you, contact Oracle, or find out, what your repercussions are from this. Honestly, this is still emerging. It's not clear exactly what they have, what the hackers have, how deep it goes. It is being investigated, but keep an eye on it if you're a Microsoft cloud user. Or do you use Microsoft Oracle Health, or does your EHR, your health company, use Oracle Health? Because if they do, oh yeah, that was hacked too. But Oracle is keeping quiet about it. It's been confirmed they were hacked on some level, but at this point, we still don't know amount of data, what type of data, or the depth of the data, how many people it goes into. So keep an eye on that. Oracle's making news for, again, all the wrong reasons. Back to Microsoft, and this one hits close to home for me. Windows 11 24H2, it's a patch. It's a It's an update to Windows 11. Well, Microsoft has pulled back on it. They're no longer letting people go to it because it has audio issues. Well, guess what? I am one of the ones that applied this. I've actually got multiple PCs that applied this early, and audio issues for whatever reason. Certain speakers will no longer work with your program. I spent a few days on this already, and then I read the article. I'm like, oh, Microsoft rides to the rescue of breaking things again. We'll see. The source that I read said that they still haven't figured out the exact cause, and it'll be a few weeks before they'll release 24H2 again and the patch that goes with it once they figure out what's wrong. All right. And the last thing in our news, I didn't mention this at the lead, but the toll payment scams return in massive phishing wave. Anyone gotten these on your phone? You're getting a text message saying, "Oh, your toll's past due. Pay here, click here to pay before it doubles, before we give you a fine or take you to court or cancel your card," or whatever they're trying to threaten you with. Well, I get them all the time. And I don't want to assume, but don't click on these links. Guess what? The toll company, they send you emails. They have a website. Go to the website, log in. Was it me? Did I do that? I've got a card on file. Why would I do that? Don't fall for clicking on the link and therefore then either paying something. The best thing that can happen is you pay for something that you didn't actually do. The worst thing is you pay for it and they take your credit card and then they get your bank account information and they keep asking you for more and more until you start to scratch your head and should I be doing all of this? And it's too late. They've got all your data. So be careful with any type of text you get. The police department's not going to text you saying, "Hey, send us $50 or we're going to come arrest you this afternoon." I've seen that one too. At least I don't think I'm going to be arrested. But pay attention to any text you get and be careful. Don't trust that they're who they say they are. All right. That's it for the news this week. So please check out our website. Please check out our website, cybersafenewsandviews.com. You can download an ebook where we talk about a lot of the cybersecurity type things for the small healthcare office. That's my ebook and how that applies through NIST, appropriate to any small businesses as well. You can register for our webinar. It is April 15th, Tuesday, where we'll deep dive into the top 10 issues. I'll go into more detail on all of them, and it'll be fair game to ask any questions and go through a complete question and answer period there. So sign up for that and sign up for our tech notes, our monthly tech notes subscription for anyone out there that says, well, either I'm more of a DIYer, but I don't know all the ins and outs. Great. That's exactly what it's for. Or you know what? I want to do it on the cheap and I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and get a little bit of work in. Great. Sign up for our tech notes. That's exactly what it's designed for, to help out. We want to help as many businesses, as many practices as we can to be secure and safe. So if you have any questions, you have comments, you want to leave us a comment below, please. We'll answer any question that you have. If you found this content valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay cyber safe.